Hey everybody, welcome to BB and Budgie's Thursday Night Recce. This is the second one of these we've done with multiple guests. You can see on screen, not just 𝗵𝙗𝙗𝙗, but we've also got a couple of our leading classics contenders, Deane Buist, Derek Ayson, who have been good enough to join us. I've just saying to the boys off here, we haven't talked this interview over at all. There's been no planning go into it, and I suspect we're going to have a fair bit of fun. Thanks, boys, for joining us. I'm going to start with a serious question, and then I'll let BB get into some of the more finer details. Obviously, new class this year, a lot of talk over the last 12, 18 months about the idea of an out-and-out classics class. Start with you, Deane, as the winner from Otago. What do you sort of make of the idea? Is it what you were kind of hoping for?
Oh, I mean, it's good to have more cars in the class, you know. It would have been better just to have Class 4 with the same rules, because we'd have more again. But no, it's good, and it's good that Derek and Roger and Ben and the likes are supporting the class. So yeah, it should be a good year.
Derek, obviously, as someone who's been on the sidelines for the last few years, possibly waiting for this opportunity to get the Opal out, what have you sort of made of the not so much the politics behind it, but the idea to introduce the classics class?
Oh, I think it's a great idea. You know, talking to BB last year, and I mean, I've been rallying 27 years, and I've never actually done the NZRC, and I thought I'd better have a go before I get too old, or I'm already a bit slow. But well, I think it's great. You know, it's just Otago. Well, I always love Otago Classic, and the rules are pretty simple. They've been tried and proven for so long, and it's pretty well supported. So when BB was talking about this new class, I said, yeah, look, if it's a go, I'll definitely support it.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you guys coming on board and supporting the new class. A couple of cars that I really love. Deane, you know, you keep coming back to escorts. They've been quite prevalent in your life. What is it about the escort for you? And then Derek, why the Opal Manta? Because I think it's fantastic to see something different there as well.
I think with the Escort, it's just the parts are so easy to come by. I mean, obviously we've got them, but I mean, I've got the Corolla, but if you give the Corolla a rub up, you want to get a door or a guard or a roof or whatever, it is a bit more tricky. With the Escort, you can just go out the back and pick it off the shelf and you're away again. And that's probably why they are so popular, because you can buy everything for them, you know, and they obviously work pretty good too.
Derek?
Yeah, well, like I say, we've been on Escort for over 20 years, and yeah, as Deane said, like, you know, you can just get parts for them easy. I mean, they go well, they just do everything right, and you know, I could probably jump back. Well, I can't do it in my whole car, but jump back in an Escort would be like putting a glove on. Whereas the Manta is quite different, and it's a bit bigger and longer, and it's still, you know, it's taking a little bit to learn it, but it's a fun car to drive. And as Deane said about the Corolla, you know, this is the same. It's like if we give it a bit of a scuff up, it's getting bits for it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah, you're definitely in the opposite case there. I'm guessing you might have a couple of spare body shells, any Manta bits that or Mantas that pop up on Trade Me sort of end up down Gore way?
No, I've got one, but it's a hatchback, so we can use a few bits off it, but you know, everything we use on the car's fiberglass, so I've got no spares either. So we're hoping to get some in from Ireland, one of Deane's next shipments, hopefully. So that'll give us a few spares.
Well, hopefully, don't rub it up.
What are the key differences between the two cars, mate? Between the Escort and the Manta? Because obviously, like you say, you've driven both, and were the differences sort of what you were expecting when you had the project? You're obviously working through that. Was it? When it turns out the flesh, is it what you were expecting?
Yeah, we didn't know really what to expect. Just wanted something different, and we looked at a few different options, and this was just popped up in Ireland, and I thought, oh well, it was quite a cool looking car. Frank Kelly had looked at it for us, and so we sort of basically stripped it. We were just going to put a new cage in it and run it, but some of the workmanship was a bit average, so yeah, we ended up with a full rebuild. And look, to be honest, it's actually really fun to drive. It's not too dissimilar to an Escort, just a bit longer and a bit wider. It's got the same power as my old car. It's got the suspension is different with a double wishbone at the front compared to fresh start. But look, it's actually it's quite enjoyable to drive.
Is there notable differences, I guess, between the two when you look at the different rallies that we go to? I mean, when you talk about Cat 1 and the difference between the Rally 2 cars and the AP4, there's clear differences. Some rallies are more suited to one than the other, with the difference in horsepower and then, the handling and whatnot. Is that the same case with you, or is it not quite as clearly identifiable, the advantages and disadvantages?
It's probably not really clearly identifiable. Like, the thing still stops good. It's got plenty of power. It handles fine. I mean, Hayden had a drive of it one of his test days, and he said, like, really, we just needed to pull the cast pull a little bit, get it turning a little bit better. And it was a little bit divey, so we put some slightly heavier springs in it. And other than that, it's been good. So, out of the box, pretty stoked. Brent Tiny that built it's done an awesome job. Did my last car, and it's been good.
Deane, you've driven pretty well everything. Have you ever had a skid in a Manta?
No, I haven't had an invitation either.
No, that's rude, isn't it?
But I did have a Vauxhall Viva as my first car.
Oh, brand new.
It's pretty similar.
No, it wasn't new. No, I'm not that old. I am old, but I'm not that old. Terrible car it was, dude.
Guys, you've both had, we've just come from Otago. That Otago Classic Rally, as you've both touched on, something pretty special. Deane with 4 wins, Derek with 3. You're right up there in terms of, number 1 and number 2 of wins. What does it take to win that rally?
Tell Chris Meeks to stay home.
It takes for the fast people to break down.
Yeah, well, you've just got to be there at the end and not give away any time. I mean, poor old Derek got a puncher in his Escort, and I beat him in the VW. That was a great battle, But as we know, that you can, 1 minute you're in charge, and next minute you're standing on the side of the road, looking at the ground,
Do you guys sort of relish the high profile drivers coming across? I mean, obviously it makes it more difficult for you to add to the collection of wins, but to go up against the likes of Chris Meek and the others that have been that cast of the who's who of world rallying over the last few years, what's it like to sort of compete against guys like that?
It's just the atmosphere, just the atmosphere of the rally, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. I agree with Deane, like it is. It's just, as high-profile competitors, you say to people you've competed alongside in similar equipment, and they sort of don't believe you. But it's, and they've set the bar pretty high too, so it's pretty cool to race against them.
And do you find that these superstars of world rallying are talking to you guys as the experts in your neck of the woods with these cars, that you're obviously so familiar with, on roads you're familiar with, that they're almost seeking advice from the likes of you?
Oh, look, I mean, at Dunedin, we talk about tyre pressures, and Chris is going, ask Deane, he's my tyre expert, So, but they're good guys, and Mads was the same, and they're all the ones that have come. They're all really friendly, and they're there to have a good time but to do a job, and yeah, they do. You just think you'd stand on the road talking to Derek or Roger or whatever. It's just nothing changes, and they're good for a laugh,
Yeah,
I think in the last sort of 6 or 7, well, probably 7 or 8 years, we've seen more of a change towards. The first one that was sort of more of the era was Marco Martin, and then we've seen Mads and then Chris on the other side of the COVID hassles as well. Has it lifted a notch with those guys that are a bit more current? And what's it like, I guess, being against the modern superstars, the ones that are proper match fit, as opposed to some of the blokes who are a little bit older in the earlier days, some of the past legends?
I never, most of the ones I've competed against would be Passy and Alex and obviously Chris and Miko and stuff like that, and Mads. I never really did many of the classic rallies when you had Jimmy and Ari and those ones, I was always in the all-comers around those years, you know. So you never sort of experienced them so much. But yeah, I mean, they're still probably, you know, they're still good guys, and they were still fast for what they, you know, hadn't done for a long time, you know.
Yeah, I
There's
agree.
been quite a
Deane,
bit of talk, and sorry, you go, Derek.
I agree with Deane. Like, you know, when Ari was out, I mean, he didn't really for a long time, but he was still fast, and they're all quite quick as well. But you know, the current guys are just the next step up, and you know, to beat them on the old stage here and there is pretty cool.
There's been quite a bit of talk. I mean, Chris, I think the last 2 years talking about trying to rally the troops and get some of those names used to be guys that have been here and done it before, but some of the other sort of classic names and WRC or recently retired stars from WRC coming down and competing all together, maybe having 4 or 5 drivers of that ilk all at one time. How special would that be to, you know, to have a real group of, you know, having Hayden potentially in that class as well, and then some of these legendary drivers that have made a name for themselves on the international stage coming up against half a dozen of them?
Neither of them look that excited about it, to be fair. They're just seeing their names go further and further down the road.
That'll be the year I'll be spectating.
Yeah, that's right. You'll end up. Well, you might not end up with any trophy.
Be some spectating though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose it's finding cars for them all to drive, isn't it? You know, like it's all easy to talk about it, but it's a lot of money to run them, and where all that comes from, and they've been pretty lucky, really, with that car. You know, I mean, those guys are good drivers, and really they haven't had really many dramas or many, you know, end up in the salad, you know, which could, obviously Chris has had a few go, but he managed to get away with it. So, but yeah, one day I suppose, but hopefully not.
There was nearly another gift this year, Dean.
Oh, he just didn't want to beat the VW record through that stage. He just felt sorry for it.
You still got the record at the doggy paddler.
Yeah, a couple of them I couldn't beat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll have to get that back, that car.
Yeah, exactly.
Put a BD in it.
This year.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So if we look at, you know, obviously we've talked a lot about Otago. It's a fantastic event. We go to Canterbury. It's one Deane's done about 1 million times. Derek, you've done it a few times, but I mean, what do you see for the season coming up, Derek? Because obviously there's some challenges, but also your home rally in there as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of uncharted territory for us this year. I mean, you know, we've done most of the South Island rallies over the years, but I haven't done Canterbury for a while. And obviously, you know, Wyndham or Southland, looking forward to that. It'd be a pretty epic event. But, you know, North Island, the only time I've been up there was when we took the Red Escort up for the two-wheel drive New Zealand Club Rally Championship. And then the Evo 4, we did Daybreaker. No, sorry, the Escort actually was the blue one when we did Wairarapa. And we had a good battle with Regan then. And then the Evo 4 was Daybreaker. So I've only done 2 North Island rallies, and that's in the lower North Island, just because of time and money. So, you know, I've never done Whangarei or Hawke's Bay or Bay of Plenty, so it'll be new territory for us doing that. And, you know, we've done a bit overseas, but for us it's like we actually need a few more rallies at home this year.
But I just asked the peer review, obviously, given the experience you have on South Island roads in particular, the Mount Grey Road. Cantabrians talk a lot about Mount Grey Road, and you know, I guess us in the north are kind of saying, "Oh, it's a forestry stage, not much different to Maramarua." You know, when you talk about some of the iconic stages in New Zealand rallying, BB and I drove through the stage. We got the opportunity to drive through it to our commentary point last year, and completely changed. Certainly changed my mind. I'm not sure. I think BB was pretty excited driving it, but what an epic piece of road. Like, I don't know that the TV pictures necessarily do it justice, but could just you guys, you know, with the experience you've got, talk about that piece of road in particular and how it stacks up against other stages in New Zealand rallying?
Oh, I'll go first. Oh, I mean, it's a good stage. I mean, they use that stage, and it's obviously that's their main road, so it is hard and fast, you know. And I mean, when you go up the Estuary Forest Rally Sprint, so that's always pretty cool. And you know, whether you come down that or down the other one, but you know, I remember that notice corner of the few people who've been over there. Years and years. Oh, when I had my front drive Corolla, we used to do a rally sprint, which was down Mount Grey Road, like 10K all the way down. And that was, yeah, it was an awesome road, you know. But it's like anything, isn't it? When it's the last stages, you know, the sting in the tail, I suppose they say. So you always want to get to the end, in theory.
Derek, where does it sort of stack up for you in terms of, you know, some of those iconic stages? People, you know, we did that thing during the COVID about the most iconic stages in New Zealand rallying, and certainly the Cantabs, it got a fair mention from the Cantabs, as I say. Maybe the rest of us didn't quite appreciate just how cool a piece of road that actually is.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably only done Canterbury maybe half a dozen times. Grey Road, I can't really remember. I remember it was quite fast. I remember a bit of the Ashley Forest, you know, hill climb road, but that's about my limit really. So yeah, it'll be pretty new territory. Yeah, and there.
You'll get a chance to look at it before Deane does anyway.
Yeah, to help you out, I won't do Recce. So then you've looked at it later than me. That's just human's agreement.
Yeah. I think one of the last time we were in there when Hayden had his Evo and 𝙈𝙍𝙁 and he put us on fire, and that was a few years ago. So yeah. But no, we'll be having a good look. Don't worry about that.
I wonder whatever happened to him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone
to
that car park racing. I saw him in the weekend.
Yeah.
That's where they all go. Greg didn't remember, then he disappeared.
Yeah.
So it's been a few years since I've been in there.
Boys, we asked you to pull out a question for each other as well. We were meant to have Roger Mackay too, but technology didn't work with Rog, just for a change. So just the two of you. Derek, what have you got for Deane?
Am I going first, am I? Well,
Possibly.
well, it's funny.
Order,
I was talking to an old mate of mine today, Regan Ross. You probably heard of him. So
once or twice.
So Deane's name came up in conversation, and he said he made some stilts for Deane's 40th birthday. He said if Deane still got those, because he wouldn't mind them back for his 12-year-old nephew to use at a dress-up party. Have you still got those, Deane?
No, I haven't actually. No. They did quite a bit of damage to my lawn. I remember it.
He asked how your lawn looked the next morning.
Yeah, that's right. Precisely. Yeah, a lot of dents in it. But anyway, I'm sure it was entertaining.
The golf courses call it coring, I think.
Right, I'll tell him you haven't got them anymore. You'll have to build some new ones.
I've still got the ladder that Ginge got me that, you know, had a sign on it that says podium for short people. I've still got that.
Did you get a good price for the stilts there?
I don't know what I did with them. They're probably still in my old shed when I moved and poked in the corner. I've got some boat oars though. You can have those if he needs.
All right, Dana, what have you got for Derek?
So why is it taking you so long to join the NZRC? Is it because you want to be the 50-year-old virgin?
Oh, I'm broke. I've got no money.
Oh, do you want some back?
I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. I guess, like I say, it's just time and other priorities and a bit of boating but I love the classic rally. I didn't mind four-wheel drivers either, but I just love the classics and I love Otago. When BB talked about this new class, I'm like, well, hey, that's got to be a win-win. Just it's such a cool class, and to get a few cars doing it, we all love a bit of competition. So yeah, it is. It's taken me a long time, but yeah, the year to do it in the fuel crisis is probably not ideal.
Oh, it's only a bit extra, isn't it? You know,
sent those entry forms in before the war started.
Yeah.
You guys touched on it. Obviously, like the competition. There's a fair few names that would be welcome additions, I'm sure, to this classic category in future years. You mentioned one by name, Regan Ross. I think Marcus Van Klink. There's a few others floating around. Here's your chance, boys, to maybe send a message to a couple of the lads that haven't so far sent in an entry form. Is there anyone out there you'd like to see come in and join the party, join the fun?
Well, Regan is using his car this weekend, apparently. He's got one out of the shed and he's threatening to join the Canterbury Rally. So there you go. It's a phone call from BB.
Hot off the press.
There we go.
And Cookies is still not going. It's getting there, but it's still not going.
In all seriousness, how cool would it be to have, those guys and maybe there's a few other cars and names that have been mentioned, around the traps into this class. I mean, it could be pretty quickly almost the headline story of our championship.
Oh, it'd be good to get like Jeff, Judd back in the series and then, to have some newbies like, I don't know, one of the Silcock boys driving the RX-7. Probably not Josh, maybe Harry. and like even old Brian, get Brian back in there. It'd be quite cool to have all those guys.
And I was actually talking to Charlie Evans on the phone tonight too, and Charlie was quite keen to do it, but a few other commitments this year, so I mean he could be a starter for maybe around later on this season or next year. And it's good that Ben's doing it as well. He had a good run at Deane, so yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting actually.
The other one for you this year, Derek, is that rookie title. I know it's something that you've always sort of wanted to make sure that you have a good crack at. Did you anticipate when you were doing it that you were going to be one of 12 rookies? Where do you see it going this year? Because there's some pretty good cars and peddlers in there, isn't there?
Yeah, I've got no idea who else are the rookies, so I've got no expectation for that at all. But I'm sure there's way faster people out there, faster cars. So I'm just happy to be competing.
Deane, I don't think you qualify. No.
Oh, what?
Chris Grant's looked through the record books and he reckons you've entered the championship once or twice before.
Oh, he might be right actually. I didn't get a new name. They just swap my names around.
It'll make for interesting reading though when you look through the list of rookie winners, the NZRC over the years. You see some of these up and coming young drivers, and then imagine Derek Ayson, 2026. He's certainly driving plenty of potential. Could go a long way.
Right. I like your optimism.
Deane, you made a few trips north last year, which is the first time we've seen you up those ways in a while. Got any advice for Derek?
No, it was good. It's good. Yeah, no, nothing really. We just got on the boat and drove across, and book your flights early because they get quite expensive later.
I've already booked my ferry crossing and flight home, so.
All right, where's that from?
Well, at this stage, I was going to go to Hamilton. I'm going to base a car to Charlie's up there, but we might even just go to Ben's first and fly home from there. So I just said I'll book the ferry about probably 10 days before the first rounds, just in case of any hold-ups. So
yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, I just went a couple of days early. It was fine. We were just lucky. Just said luck of the draw because Gilly got bumped on the ferry there a few times, but we seemed to just wing it. But this year will probably be the opposite. I always drove up, so then the worked on the theory that if I was there and the car was there, I could deal with. If the boys never turned up, we could deal with finding other people to do the other jobs.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
I'm probably qualified to do fuel against it.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm driving the van up.
Whereas, seeing crap, he won't want to drive.
Yeah. That's. She'd be a big old trip. Was it a couple of days up to Hawke's Bay from Gore?
Yeah, I've got a couple of
days
stops.
I was going to say.
Well, I might stop in Kaikoura for one night, and then I've got a sister in Palmerston North, so I might stay there, and then then we might go to actually Hastings or where Ben is, maybe go there or Charlie. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah.
You can watch the water in Kaikoura. You can't help but wake up with a headache every time I've been there.
Well, the last time I went to stay in Kaikoura, I
Yes,
took
true.
a box of cans with me, but my host wasn't actually there, so I carried on to cross.
There's no KFC in Kaikoura yet, is there?
No, I don't think so. Did you leave the cans behind?
No, I took
That was the thing every time. Oh, right. Oh dear.
All right. Well, we might wrap it up there. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for that, and great chat, and obviously a lot of classic fun to look forward to as the season goes on, and this battle's certainly going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, look forward to seeing how that plays out at Canterbury in a couple of weeks' time, folks, and best of luck for both of you for there and for the rest of the season, and thanks everyone for joining us tonight. We'll do it again in a couple of weeks' time when we preview the Lone Star Rally of Canterbury. Until then, take care.
Righto, thank you.
Cool, thanks.